What's up, guys? Welcome back to Green Pond Outdoors. Got another picks and predictions video for you right now. The best fishing league in the world, Major League Fishing, going to Kentucky Lake starting this Thursday. For those of you who don't know, Kentucky Lake, very popular bass fishery. It'll actually be Kentucky and Barkley. These two lakes are side by side. One canal separates them. Many of the guys are familiar with Kentucky Lake. It's about 4 hours west of Chickamauga, Tennessee River Lake. Big summertime ledge fishery in the past, but from what I've been researching, this lake is changing. So past history might not do everybody good here. We'll have to see. First off, I'm gonna run down my top 10 picks. Go ahead and get right into them. Talk a little bit about these guys. After I talk about these guys, we'll talk a little bit about Kentucky Lake and how they might break this place down. And we'll also recap our previous picks and predictions video, the Smith Mountain Lake Heavy Hitters Edition. So without further ado, I'm gonna go 10-1. Number 10, Spencer Sheffield. Spencer has definitely been a little quiet this season. I'm sure it's not the season he wanted to be having, but listen, Spencer's too good. There's gonna be a breakout party, and I think it's gonna be here at Kentucky Lake. Well-rounded guy, uses forward-facing sonar, just too talented to not get a top 10. For 10, we'll go him. For number 9, I'm going Colby Miller. Colby Miller's a young guy. First season on tour, worked his way up through Tackle Warehouse Series. He actually got second at Kentucky Lake last year at the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals. So obviously, he knows his way around. He's had success here before. If you remember the first Bass Pro Tour tournament of the season, he came in a close second to Justin Cooper. I remember at that tournament he said that he'd been working on some stuff and some things clicked in the off season. So I don't think we've heard the last of Colby Miller. You know, I don't think that was a fluke. A lot of these young guys coming up are very talented. So I expect him to show up in this one. Next, I'm going with DC Dustin Connell. A specialist in Alabama. Depending on how things set up, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him do some more current stuff. You know, smallmouth will be here. They're going to be a big factor at this lake. And I could see him, you know, doing what he does best, playing in that current and getting on some big schools. Number 7, I'm going again with Justin Lucas. Justin Lucas, just one of the most consistent fishermen on tour. Was really impressed with him at Smith Mountain. Couldn't quite put it all together. But, hey, if you want a ledge guy, Justin Lucas is your guy. Number 6, I've talked about him before. You know, a lot of my guys are going to repeat because there's levels to this. And there's certain guys in the Bass Pro Tour that are just in that upper echelon that we're going to hear about a lot. Number 6, Drew Gill. One of the best forward-facing sonar guys. He's good everywhere, guys. Listen, he's already got some wins on the Bass Pro Tour. It's only going to be a matter of time before he wins again. I expect him to do great at this lake. Number 5. This one might be a little bit of a surprise to you guys. Ott Defoe. Otter. I feel like Ott, you know, hadn't had the season he wanted either. A lot like Spencer, man. Ott's too talented to not be getting top 10s. Not a forward-facing sonar guy. Probably never going to cut it on. But I think there are some things at Kentucky Lake and Lake Barkley that's Ott's going to find. I think the shallow bite, the largemouth bite, could be a player. I mean, lots of times to win these tournaments, you got to go against the grain. You got to do something that nobody else is doing. I think Ott can make that happen this week. So we'll be watching him closely. Number 3, Jacob Wheeler. I don't even feel like I got to say a lot about Jacob Wheeler. Disappointed me a little bit at Smith Mountain, I'm not going to lie. Wasn't able to put the puzzle pieces together like I thought he would. But as I mentioned, 4 hours from Lake Chickamauga, his home. He's going to have a good idea of what he wants to do and how he wants to execute it. I mean, he's finished in the top 6th in every stage this year. You know, stage, I'm not including heavy hitters or red crest, but all the regular tournaments where there's 66 anglers, he's been in the top 6. One of the most consistent guys, and he wants to win that Angler of the Year. He's going to have a good showing. He's going to bounce back. He's going to rack up some points like he always does. Number 2, Jake Lawrence. A lot of people are picking Jake Lawrence to win it, and I get that. Listen, Jake Lawrence is having a phenomenal season. One of the best finishes I've ever seen in the Bass Pro Tour. Beat Jacob Wheeler on a buzzbait with 30 seconds left to win at Chickamauga. And not only that, he's a Kentucky Lake guide. That's right, he guides on Kentucky Lake. Obviously, I hadn't been able to do that in the previous, I don't know what their cutoff time is, 6 months. Yeah, anytime you're guiding somewhere, you're gonna know it pretty well. And lake knowledge is huge. It is huge. I can't tell you how big it is. He won the Toyota Series there in 23 and 24. If I had to bet my house on one person to finish in the top 5 or top 10, it will be Jake Lawrence. He is going to be in the top 10. You know, I don't care if his electronics don't work. I don't care if you give him a 16-foot skiff with 3 poles. More time on this lake than anyone in the field, hands down. And one of the hottest guys. I'm not going to say it like that. And one of the guys that has been on fire lately. Wins, top 5s, but that's not who I'm picking to win, despite the thumbnail you clicked on. My winner, Cole Floyd. A little history on Cole. Crushes BFLs here. Crushes. Look up the stats. He also knows his way around. Not a guy like Jake, but I think that might be to his advantage. I think there's maybe a little less pressure on him than there is on Jake Lawrence. And I think Cole's going to try the shallow bite. Like, I think Cole's going to try to maybe see about those largemouth. And like I said, I think that could be a winning pattern. I really do. Everybody's going to be beating up these fish offshore. And just like we saw DC go against the grain and run up to the dam and just fish there alone for multiple days and bring home a Red Crest trophy, I think Cole's going to try to go a little off the grid. And if, that doesn't work, I think he's got enough sneaky places to where he can be very dangerous and upset Jake Lawrence. So there's my top 10. Just remember, this is back to a 66-man field, so top 10 is actually a little harder to narrow down than we did last time. Kentucky Lake was predominantly known summertime ledge fishing. Riling them up with a crankbait, forward-facing sonar with a minnow. But I don't think the lake's changed, man. It's changed a lot. The largemouth population has really kind of sank, and the smallmouth population is on the rise. And that's really why I didn't pick a lot of the older guys. When I think of ledge fishermen and crankbait specialists, Mark Rose came to mind, Edwin Evers. I thought of Wesley Strader. I could definitely see him doing well. Shallow guy or dock guy, Andy Montgomery, he could break out here. But I think maybe the knowledge, like 5 years ago knowledge, could hurt some of these older guys that fished it long ago. I want the guys that are really honed in the past couple years, because this lake has evolved so much. Like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. And please, comment below. Let me know if you think my picks are outrageous. Let me know your picks. Let me know your thoughts. I'm always interested to interact with you guys. Before I let you go, I did want to do a little quick recap on Smith Mountain Heavy Hitters. I was up there, and to watch Michael Neal and those guys go way up the Roanoke, or some of them went way up Blackwater and were able to spinnerbait and frog them, catch them shallow, and catch them in bunches was amazing to watch. Not what I thought was going to happen. I thought for sure, if you watched my last video, I said it was going to be a live scoper's paradise. A lot of the top scopers tried. Jacob didn't even make the knockout round, which was surprising. Now, Justin Lucas, he did great. Didn't quite get on him the final day, but there in the first couple rounds, I forget which day it was, but he found a pile of 3-pounders and caught just catching 3-pounders left and right, which was fun to see. I really thought he had the fish to win it. Martin Villa, my guy, the local. He did all right, I think by the time he realized what he needed to do, he was a little late to the party. But hey, he had a good showing. It's tough, man. They're pros for a reason. And he just wasn't able to put it together. My hat's off to Martin Villa, though. You know, I actually got 3 out of the top 10 right. Justin Lucas, Zach Burge, and Drew Gill. Yeah, I guess that's not very good, but it didn't go down like I thought it'd go down. Hats off to Nick Hatfield. After all those guys that spent all that time up the top of the rivers, buzz baiting and frogging and spinner baiting, they did it for too many days, man. Although I thought it was going to be the other way around. I thought they were going to beat them up live scoping and then somebody was going to win shallow on the last day. They beat them up shallow and somebody won live scoping the last day. So, congrats off Nick Hatfield getting on those blue black herring. I think he caught like 7 3-pounders the first period, championship day. And I mean, that was enough to kind of catapult him and give him a big cushion, a big enough cushion where he didn't have to catch any in the third period. I'm sure that was nerve-wracking for him, but hey, a win's a win. Congratulations to him. Appreciate you guys watching.